Nobody's here yet, so I'll say hi anyway. And you can see what we'll be looking at today while we wait for some people. Hello. For those of you that are here, we're going to give it just a minute, and then we'll start our little show today. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, say hello if you like. Hi, Max. Hello. Remembered I had a show today. We'll talk about some of this as we go through. Hope everyone's doing well. Sure. It's only 4:01. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, let's see. I'm Maria Castley. I'm the Chief Archivist and Tours Manager at City Museum. And today for our show, I know, right? Massive. That'll be our first stop for this. I'm the Chief Archivist and Tours Manager. I am at City Museum. We're in a spot that is not open to the public yet. We're going to take a quick look around here today. So we are on the 4th floor. Some of you have been following. We've stopped in here a couple times, for a couple different shows. It's going to be a maze on the 4th floor. Yeah, it's not open to the public yet, but they're in the midst of building it. So let's see. We'll go through. This is, yes, it's a scale. Yeah, it's a massive pier. This is from a pier on the riverfront, from like a gate that they would do for a lock for a pier, I believe is what it's called. From the St. Louis riverfront. We weirdly find a lot of pieces from there, so. And then the 4th floor is going to be a maze. So this is the beginning of the maze. You'll be able to get to it from the 3rd floor. I'm going to see if I can turn on a light. There we go. So this part is going to be a slide. And then there aren't any lights back here quite yet. So this part is going to be one of the entrances to the slide. And this one will let you off on the 2nd floor, I believe. It's one of the few spots that we have left that you could still do a 3-story slide inside the museum without hitting anything that's there already. I love this railing so much. Hi, Nancy. It is gorgeous. So the plan is, this will be, I believe, the tallest that the walls are going to be. They're going to be varying sizes throughout the floor. You can see some of them, they look like they might be dead ends, and then you've got some like tunnels. That'll lead you to where we just were. And we have some of these pieces too that are cleaned up a little bit. They're on the 3rd floor. by where the net used to be. Come back out here. Oh, good, Ashley. I'm glad you had a good time. The railing was actually crafted by the crew, so that wasn't a found object, that was something that they built. Oh, geez, you went a ways. That's amazing. We're so glad you had a good time, Ashley. This is a piece, Leaf, one of the members of our crew, he does some like lighting experiments. So he has going, trying out some different stuff. And I think the plan will be to have a lot of different lighting throughout the museum, or throughout the cave. Well, the museum too, but also throughout the maze. This piece up here, Anheuser-Busch Brewery, this came from one of their brewing, it was like a brace that would hold the tanks. This piece came from, we also have a lot of these up on the rooftop. These line the walls, and behind them, or like right here would be like where the planters would be, so they're up on their side. There's another section of the maze that they're working on. The very tiny tunnel. And then you can see too, on the floor, they've outlined, the crew, this is what I mean when I say they've outlined some of the different pathways. And you'll see one of the, I won't say rules, but one of the design elements in the museum is that there aren't any dead ends. So even when there would be a dead end, you can see like here would technically be a dead end, but if they cut a hole in there, then you'll be able to come up through the floor. And there'll be a bunch of different holes throughout the maze that'll let you out in different points throughout the museum, or throughout the maze. This guy is one of the more recent pieces that they've installed, the sculpture. This was designed by it's all been designed by the Castley crew. This is built by them. Some more large gears. We love gears here at the museum. This part, so this is library glass. So the Central Library in St. Louis went through a major renovation several years back, and then we ended up getting a lot of library glass. You'll also see that used on the third floor behind Beat McBob's. There's a climbing area that's up in the ceiling. And then you get library glass, and you get architectural elements also, which is very much in keeping with a lot of the themes throughout the museum. This is by Elmsley, a well-known designer and architect. And then we have squirrels. I do not remember where the original squirrel came from. If anybody watching knows, you can definitely let me know, but I believe we've cast it several times, and you can find this little guy throughout the museum. Also, as a side note, there was a squirrel that got in the other day, and we were chasing it around while we were getting ready to open, so that was a good time. It's pretty funny. Back to the tour. This part over here, we're working on a little area. See that outline. So I think it'll end there. Created that up top. And over here, the floor plan, a little diagram for what the plans are. This has changed several times since I've been coming in here. So this is a basic idea. They'll shift it as needed, and it looks like these interior spots are going to be doors and parts that can swing back and forth. So those will kind of change which way you can go through. So those will be movable doors. You can see there's also holes through the little spots. So these parts will see where you can get down through the floor. Ooh, mirrors possibly. How exciting. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions about where anything came from, even if I don't know, I'll definitely try and find out and leave the answer in the comments. So please ask away. And got a little workstation here. We kind of just set up like impromptu workstations wherever we can. There is an official workshop down in the garage, one of our big garages. Well, maybe we'll go there next week. This is more of that library glass. So you've got some lighting going on the inside. A couple pillars of those. This part was open to the public, but they've closed it since they started working on this. This part goes up through, and then the slide comes down and goes through the floor here. So normally you can get through, I'll come over here, I'll show you. Normally, this is looking down onto the 3rd floor. We're on the 4th floor right now, Amanda. This is a part that's not open to the public yet. We're still building. We're always building, but they're specifically building this, focusing on this part right now. So, yeah, this isn't open to the public quite yet, but this is an in-progress view. And these guys, it's a little bit hard to see, but it's kind of worth it. So all of these here, these are Ding Dong and Twinkie pans from the Hostess factory after they closed. They've since reopened, but all of these guys here, these are all Hostess and Twinkie pans. These are the molds for the Twinkies. There's an overhead projector for reasons I'm not privy to. So yeah, I assume they're probably going to try and use those for parts of the walls, or this might just be a temporary storage area. So let's see if there's anything else. If there's anything you want a closer look at, just let me know. We've got some architectural pieces here. Hey Amanda, glad that you make it an annual trip. There's something different probably every time you come too. More architectural pieces. And we've got a tank that I'm sure will be turned into some sort of climbing tunnel. What ends up happening here a lot. Got some glass blocks. And these guys look like grills a little bit, but I don't know if they're quite wide enough for slides. We'll see. And then, oh, that's right. Forgot one other spot I wanted to show you guys. So that looks like the frame for a little tunnel that would go into this giant tank here, very rusty tank, which I'm pretty excited to try out. And then we've got that. That looks like it may try to connect down to here. Now keep in mind, this is all subject to change, so as everything is here, so it might be different when it does actually get finished and opened. And this may end up opening in sections, which I could probably see happening. Oh, and I keep forgetting stuff. I also like this here. So this is drawn on, so part of the plans drawn on the side of one of the walls. So you'll see a lot of sketches while they're working on things, a lot of sketches on walls and floors and pretty much anywhere they need them. It's gonna be cool. We're excited. Have a lot of doors. A lot of these are from, we get a lot of pieces from auctions and things like that too. Alright. Alright. yeah, so that was the fourth floor maze that is in progress. We're, we're always building. And gotta be careful. Uh, so yeah, thanks for joining us. Um, Amanda, we don't. Yeah, I would love that too. Right now, so I'm actually, beginning of this year, I was charged with starting a tours program through City Museum, but with everything that's happened, we've had to kind of put that on hold for right now. We're planning on still doing that later, at least trying to get that started later this year, if possible. In the meantime, I'm collecting a lot of history for the museum and putting together an archive to see the museum through the years, and a plan to keep cataloging them and keep archiving as we go forward. So the plan would be to try and have guided tours through the museum. Behind the scenes tours can get a little bit tricky just because of the nature of how this is all put together, but that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do some of these, especially now that we're open, which is kind of a part that you can't necessarily see yet. Yeah, and some of the crew have expressed interest a while back about possibly giving, a talk or something like that. That's definitely another thing. So there are. Ooh, hey, thank you. Somebody's asking. There are 10 floors. The roof is technically 13. It makes it 13 because of the extra layers on the roof. The first through fourth floors are mostly museum. This part is part of the fourth floor. We also have some offices on the fourth floor, so it's not the whole fourth floor, but that's part of this, is it's expanding. We're always growing. There's a loft on the fifth and sixth floor, and then there's also businesses. There's a floral company business on the 8th and ninth floor. And then the 10th floor used to be Windows Off Washington, which was an event space. And those event spaces are still there, but the company's no longer there, so the plan will be eventually to utilize those spaces again. So, yeah. Hope that answers some of your questions. Oh, and then the 7th floor is storage, which, if you're interested in that, we took a tour on that. I believe it was last week, although it feels like a year ago. So if you want to go to citymuseum.org, City Museum on Air, the webpage on there, on that website, has all of our programming archived on there. So you can take a look at that. It's a 7th floor revisited, I think. And then Stephanie also did a show, one of my co-hosts, did a show there earlier. So, yeah, if you are interested in some of our previous episodes, you can check those out there. And if there aren't any more questions, I'll leave you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. We might be switching up. Well, for right now, we're going to keep it the same, the programming for right now, I believe. But yeah, now that we're open, we're kind of seeing what happens. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon, and take care of yourselves and each other. All right, bye.